Well, hello there, everybody, and this is Auntie, and we are here to do our continuation of recaps, reviews, and reactions on Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 19, D and A all the way. Kiana is scared to face JaWaila. Let's go ahead on and talk about it up in this camp, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie to rise. Sweet old. It's time for auntie to rise. It's time for auntie to rise.
Well, welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. So, y'all, we started off this episode with Kiana and Damondrick, okay, in the vehicle riding over to the attorney's house, attorney's office. It appears that she is going to be meeting with this lawyer that she says that she has on retainer, and she is going to be talking to the investigator, who, as we all know, went last week downtown to JaWaila's house to gather some information and try to get her to sign some papers over. Okay, thank you all so much. Thank you. I went and got it done. I drove over to the what do you call it? Overnight, 24 hours. Okay, this place is 24 hours hair braiding, and it's called Nadine's. It is in Bowie, Maryland. And I went over there despite all of the goings on that's on TikTok about Nadine's braiding. I went over there and got it braided. And y'all, I'm trying to tell you, these are the medium knotless. And child, it only cost me, what was it, 180, and it they took 2 hours and 22 minutes. I was in and out. Y'all have been seeing, I've been wearing wigs, I've been wearing hats. Like yesterday, I had to resort to a hat. And I was like, okay, nah, we ain't going another further until I go and get my hair done. Now, I know a lot of people ain't come out here to see that, but since Deirdre said something about my hair, okay, and what is that? Well, let's say hamster pondu said something about my hair. I had to go ahead on the dresser. Yes, honey, I went and got me some daggone knotless. And like I said, I said in the previous video, because I was having my birthday party, I wanted my hair to be out and not in braids where I have to go and spend hundreds of dollars and get my hair braided, and then only to take them out for my birthday and then put them back in. So I have been without braids for quite some time, and I could not wait to go and get them done. So I went to the 24 hours, 7 days a week Nadine's, and I had a really good experience there. But anyway, let me get on back to this. So she is basically no, Deirdre, I would never. I think that they do wash hair, Deirdre, but I will never, ever, 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 ever get anybody to do my wash. No. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. But I believe that they do wash, and I believe that they do takeouts. I'm not really sure about it, right? But Trust me, this hair gonna be in there for a long time. And you know what the thing about it, y'all, is this helps me be more consistent too with doing my videos, because then I don't have to be wondering how I'm gonna do my hair or anything like that, right? And then when when you get up in the morning, you got this skin routine and stuff like that. The last thing you want to do is be playing with hair. Back in the day when I was younger, it wasn't a chore to blow dry my hair and all of that kind of stuff and clip it and stuff. But now that I am up there in age, all of that stuff bothers me, and I just don't have the time and the hours in the day to get it done. So I have been wearing braids consistently, golly, probably for like the last 2 years. Um, in my head, and I absolutely love it. It's just so convenient, and then I can just get up, maybe style it to the side or whatever. And because it's knotless, it's not sore, doesn't hurt like some of the other styles that I get. Hi, sweetie. You said you called me live. Hi, sweetie. Welcome. Okay, so let's get into this. So Kiana is steady playing that role, right? She says, I've been falsely accused of vandalizing Damondrick's baby mama's car. One of the things that, makes me think that she is like really knows what's going on or something just a disrespect period, right? Is that she won't say JaWaila's name. And, as a from woman to woman, we know different ways to insult another woman and make her feel bad about herself and stuff like that. And I think that that is one of the methods that she used, where she won't even say the daggone girl's name. She said that Kiana allegedly put dump on my window and allegedly flattened the tires, right? Um, she's saying that this is what she's being accused of. Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. Let me look at my notes. And she's saying, I feel a lot of emotions because this mess with JaWaila could jeopardize everything I have. She said it's too much. And she was telling Damondrick, right, who is, the cause of all of this, right? He's the cause and effect of everything that both of these young women are going through, right? And she's saying, she's appreciating him for going with her. He should have went with her to every appointment she had, instead of going over there sleeping, jumping in and out of the bed, okay? So we see JaWaila go down to Damondrick's father's house, right? And so, she gets up out of her raggedy car. I'm going to tell you, that's a raggedy car. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I think that that's where JaWaila is. JaWaila is like, I'm in school. I got kids I got to take care of. And of course, if you all follow her on TikTok, you know that she's like in beauty school, for like hair and stuff like that. And I hope that, she's successful for the sake of her sons. And, so she got a whole lot of stuff going on. So she goes down to Damondrick's house. And this is after she's met with the lawyer Keith. And he calls her baby mama. He was like, what's happening, baby mama? And so she was like, I got a name. So he was like, what's up, right? Talk to me. First of all, I don't trust that man. This man has had by his own admission, okay? He's had his own share of flings and things. There's a reason why they got a stepmama. And I doubt very seriously if that got to do anything with his ex-wife, girlfriend, whoever it was, baby mama or whatever. We have seen him in countless, right? We've seen him in countless scenes talking to Damondrick about being, just out there with a whole bunch of women. As we all know, Damondrick got other children and other children, baby mamas that just ain't showing up on the show. The only one that's doing it right now is JaWaila. But anyway, keep going on. So she was like, I was looking for your son, but I'm cool talking to you. And he was like, okay, talk to me, as if he's trustworthy. Child, please. He was like, tell me what's going on. So she was like, the investigators came to my house and they want me to drop the charges. She was like, and I understand why, Kiana will go about this way, right? And she understands her feelings on all of that, right? And she was like, but look, I got kids. And so basically what she is saying is, I'm going to be in this mofo's life for the rest of their life. And so, she ain't got this to do with him. And she was like, I feel like this isn't something that I would do to her, because she in school like me, she working like me, she's taking care of her kids like me. So, I wouldn't come to her house and destroy her stuff. So I don't understand why she destroying my stuff. So, she got the little paper in her hand, she's shaking the paper, making all that noise and stuff. And I like JaWaila, you ain't got to be walking around with that daggone paper in your hand, honey. How about that daggone paper is burning a hole in her hand, honey? Okay. And so, she was like, you know what I'm saying? So that'll be taking something. If I did the same thing to her, that'd be me taking something from her and her kids. And so she was like, we got, so in the meantime, in between time, Kiana is downtown with her, you know, lawyer and with the investigator and stuff like that. JaWaila ended up rolling up out of there, right? But the father said something, about her getting justice is not as important as growth. I'm sorry, what do that mean? Because getting justice is growth. Just me, just by JaWaila. I don't know why I'm saying her name like that. Just by JaWaila pressing charges against her, right? Because she allegedly believes that the girl did it, is growth. Because what she could have did, y'all know I did not splash this. Because what she could have did is went to her house and got to fighting. She could have went to her house and got to slashing her ties. She could have went to Kiana's house and put dump on the back of her window. So just by her going down and saying, you know what, I ain't gonna do an eye for an eye and a tooth for tooth, is growth, daddy. But it is obvious that the stepmama and the daddy then already took Kiana's side. And I'm so sick of her sitting out here acting as if she's so innocent. I ain't do nothing. That little petty book, okay? She goes to her lawyer's office and her lawyer's like, we got some updates. He said, I got the police reports and all the evidence that the prosecutor's office was willing to give to me. Meaning, they know what evidence the state had in order to press the charges and put a warrant out on her. They or her attorneys have a duty, in my opinion, to make sure that she know, this ain't looking good for you. But they trying to, see whether or not, this is something she gonna do, she ain't gonna do, you know what I'm saying? This is all a daggone game. So, we down at the, okay, so wait a minute, let me make sure. The lawyers in there was saying, it's obvious that JaWaila think y'all did this. Now, mind you, keep in mind that the lawyer said, we got an update. We got the evidence. We got everything. We got it, Kiana. They was like, she wants somebody to pay for this bullshit that happened to her car. She's saying that there were some things that were in the back of her car, so he was like, y'all gonna have to pay restitution. So Damondrick sat up there and was like, I gave her the $600, but what you did not give her was the money for the stuff that was inside. Now, granted, when we heard JaWaila say something about it, she had only mentioned the tires in the window, right? She ain't mentioned nothing about the inside of the car. So was the car unlocked or was the window busted on it? It couldn't have been a window busted because she would have said my window got busted. So it seems like she irresponsibly left her daggone car open. Or maybe they popped the trunk. I don't know. When we've seen JaWaila with her stuff, right, she used to be getting it out the trunk. So I don't know how in the the stuff got messed up. But Damondrick is like, I gave her the $600 and, paid all of that off. And so, they was like, well, look, she wants to meet with you at this point. She wants somebody to pay for this. And I gave her, the affidavit of non-prosecution. And she just walking around with it, showing everybody, flashing it, hanging it up on windows, and letting the daggone paperwork blow, burn up in her hand. That's what she doing right now. And I feel sorry for the girl because she had a conversation with her grandmother, and she probably should have asked her grandmother like for her wisdom on what's going on. You'd be surprised at the stuff that older women have gone through, right? They may not talk about their history with past lovers and stuff like that, things that they've gone through, but that don't mean that we haven't gone through anything. And sometimes if you open up and ask, okay, so look, this is, what I'm going through. She was talking about, as far as I saw, she was talking to her grandmother, who she said was basically a mother to her. She was basically talking to her about Damondrick and all of that kind of stuff. But she should have really opened up and been like, look, this is where I am. This is, what's going on with me right now as it relates to this mother. Okay. That's what she should have done. But anyway, she didn't do that. So it is what it is. And so they was like, everybody basically want the case to go away. And he was like, she wants to be reimbursed for the property damage. And then that's when, old Demon was talking about some, I paid on it and all of that kind of stuff. And Kiana, instead of her listening to what this girl is saying and what the lawyers and the investigator said, she said, oh, this is all about money. I don't think for JaWaila it's all about money. I think that for JaWaila it was about, you ain't gonna do this stuff. Now JaWaila was crying and was saying that people have bullied her and she's it's making her feel bad. And I agree. I agree that the mother and the father and the stepmother are all making this about JaWaila, in my opinion. Even at the birthday party, they felt like Kiana should have been able to come to the kids' birthday party. Even JaWaila's grandmother said, if you had let her come, then it wouldn't have been no issue. This would have been you growing up. But nobody's looking at the fact that this man is coming over there sleeping in this girl's bed, even though she allowing it and she letting him in. But he is the common denominator up in this mother. Okay. And ain't nobody really checking him because the father is dapping him up every time he gets a chance about what his son is doing. She don't have anybody on her side, and they making it seem like, she got some kind of other motive for wanting her car to be repaired and for pressing charges. She did exactly what she wanted, what she needed to do, or the girl could have had a Snicker in her gas tank. Like, it's all kinds of ways for her to have been on some get back with Kiana and really made this a messy situation, right? We don't really know what the truth is. Maybe next episode we'll get the truth, but I don't, and then I had somebody come in my comment with a spoiler saying that it got dropped. Just because the case got dropped does not mean that there isn't guilt on Kiana's side. I think that the more here's my opinion about it. I feel like the more that Kiana is denying it and saying I ain't do nothing and trying to play that little innocent role, the more I'm convinced that she had more to do with this than what meets the eye. That's just my opinion about it. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section. I don't believe this cord. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all think it is. But I absolutely believe that, thank you, Charlotte. I absolutely believe that Kiana knows that Damondrick did it, or Damondrick and Kiana did this together. Like, they did this, in my opinion. He said, she indicated that she wanted to have a one-on-one meeting with you. And, Kiana sitting up there looking stupid and all that crap. And I'm just like, why you looking dumb, young? You gonna go and meet with her? Then when they really was pressing her about whether or not she was gonna have this meeting and stuff, because the guy was like, she not backing off right now. Kiana gonna say that I don't want to meet with her because she's the type of person who just gonna bark. When have we seen Kiana and JaWaila have a conversation? Where's the barking? She's never had a conversation with her. Never. So the proof would be in the pudding. Now, as an older woman, if I had saw JaWaila acting a whole with her, then yeah, I would be like, okay, yeah, she barking. But the thing about it is, Damondrick is in the middle, telling each one of them and pulling both of their little puppet strings, right, and telling them how each other are. That she don't know. When we saw them, the first interaction and the only interaction that we saw between the two of them was downtown at the welcome home party, and the aggressor was Kiana. It wasn't JaWaila. It wasn't motherfucking JaWaila. Okay, why am I screaming? Y'all, it wasn't JaWaila. It was Kiana stirring the pot with the family. It was Kiana stirring the pot with the friends. It was Kiana. But she is acting as if she is a victim of something. And that automatically is going to make me throw my. She just ain't think that this would happen with her. But see, now she's at the FO stage of her life. You done messed around and found out that the girl is not playing with you. That's all. She may have. Here's another thought that just came to my mind. Y'all remember when she asked him what time did he come home? And he said he came home at 12. She said, what time you come home? He said, what you mean? She said, what time did you come home last night? And he said 12. Could it been she was following that mother? Could it been y'all? Could it been she knew that he was in and out of JaWaila's house, y'all? Could it been? And could she been the one that called her a dumb hoe out there downtown to the back of her car? Because why would she ask him where he was and what time he came home? You think that a woman don't know what time a man slip up in the bed? Ain't nobody sleeping that damn hard. Ain't nobody sleeping that hard that they don't know what time their partner come in the house. Ain't no way in the world that you're gonna tell me you don't hear the key through the door. She knew what time he got home because she was out there spray painting the car allegedly. JaWaila is walking around and ain't got nobody on her side. She public enemy number one. Why? Why? Why she public enemy number one? She the one that got her tires slashed. So hold on, let me get to my notes. She sat there and told the lawyer after Keith told her that she wants to sit down with you. She said there's no talking with someone like that. All she's going to do is bark. So the lawyer asked Keith, what do you think is the chance that she's going to sign it with all these contingencies, without all these contingencies that she wants? He said, I'd say it's almost zero chance that she's going to sign this without sitting down with Kiana. Thank you, Gail. He says, a reminder, Kiana, I've gotten the evidence. I've gotten everything. And the ball is in her court on whether or not she gonna sign that affidavit. We're playing her game. All she want to do is sit down with you, and she want to try to pay for the shit that was in her car. And then she would be willing to sign an affidavit. So he said, I ain't trying to oppress you, because I'm just putting everything down here for you to make your decision. But I'm just telling you that the ball is in JaWaila's court. So you can continue to play these little stupid reindeer games, or you could do what you need to do, young, because at this point, the ball is in her court and we are playing her game. Then Kiana comes out with some dumb and says, I think this feels like a setup. If it's a setup, your man did it. How about that? How about we go all the way right there? If it's a setup, your man set this up. Like straight up. She don't want this hanging over her shoulders. Meet with the girl. Now, what JaWaila gonna say at the table ain't gonna pierce Kiana, because Kiana already know Damondrick over there was sleeping with her. She's already, behind the scenes checked her man on this. She didn't already checked her man on this. She already know what the deal is. She know her man was sleeping with that girl. When he sat out there and was washing the car, she already knew. When he came up with the bull, y'all love these. When he came up with the bull, she already knew. She know her man ain't about. She knows she competing with JaWaila. But we're gonna see what ends up happening. Okay. They've been dragging this along. Next week is the final, is the finale. And we're gonna see what's going on. Okay. Okay. They know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on. And I believe they all on it. It was so sad though, to see Kiana cry like that. I mean, JaWaila cry like that. She was like, they just making me feel like I'm wrong and I'm being bullied, right? And when you feel like you're being bullied, that's real. Anyway, that's the end of this review. I'm going to come back in a few minutes, y'all, and we're going to do our review of who? Brooke, Broke, and JK. Love y'all. Bye.